That's a new format. Anyway, it's either too much light or not enough light. I can't seem to get the... Oh yeah, I forgot it goes that way. Well, this is why I don't record anything at night. So, is this facing the right way? Because the chat bubble isn't in the right... I hope this isn't vertical, because the timer is up here, but the chat bubble is... Anyway, I did try to record this a while ago, a couple of days ago, when I was watching Rhett and Link, and they were talking about Burnout on ear biscuits. That might have been actually a Saturday. Sorry. It's been a busy week. I'm going to visit family soon. Anyway, so I tried to record this. I really don't like how poor the... Well, that's not any better. It's just so much glare. This is why I don't record at night. But it's the only time I remember to do this. I wonder if I can get... Oh, no. Well, it's looking like it's going to be either overexposed or underexposed. I'm sorry. I'm not good with lighting. If I can... No. Maybe put the... I know, most of this is me just setting up. That is disturbing. I have a rainbow poop emoji hat on one of my lights. I don't know if you can... Yeah. Anyway, I don't know where chat is, honestly. Oh. We've solved the lighting issue by accident. Anyway, it took me almost 2 minutes to fix the lighting. So I was watching Ear Biscuits, and they were talking about Burnout. And I started to type out this really long reply, and it was just too long to leave on somebody else's video. So I just basically said, this happens to writers and artists, not just YouTubers. Because when you're an artist who does fan art, you get a lot of requests. And sometimes I don't get around to it. Maybe I don't have the right reference photos. Maybe my muse is not inspired. I don't know. Does anybody really understand the mind of an artist? Because I don't. By the way, because this is a real talk, I'm in my coffee pajamas, not wearing a bra, sorry. And like, I even have on my fuzzy slippers. So this is like a real, just sitting down and talking real talk. Even though I can't see chat. I don't know how to pull chat up on the new interface. I have no clue where it is. So Burnout. Everybody's been talking about it. But in the YouTube space. I know it's ironic. I am also a YouTuber, but I don't do a lot with my channel. And you may wonder why. Like now that I can't find it right now, but now that I have a tripod, I could film a better Sweet Pea tutorial. That's like my most viewed thing currently, I think, is the Sweet Pea blanket crochet tutorial. And I have a tripod somewhere. I thought it was in this little thing by my desk. I tried all 3 drawers. I can't find it. Now watch, I'm gonna find it as soon as I stop recording. So I'm back to the old like notebook holder that holds a notebook just the right size for my phone to fit. So I could redo the Sweet Pea tutorial once I find the tripod again. And that's not really Burnout. That's just, I haven't got around to it. I know I need to actually make round to it. That's on the list of things I need to get around to. So YouTubers have been talking a lot about Burnout. And Good Mythical Morning also mentioned there is a tendency for codependence between the creator and the audience. The audience gets like codependent on having the videos at a set time every day, every week, however often they are. So then they get frustrated when, or upset, which is a small minority. Small but very vocal minority get upset when their preferred creators take a break. Most of us, we get it. You need a break. You'll be better when you come back, if you come back. Some of them don't. So there's a codependence where the audience wants it to happen when it always happens. The creator can become codependent on the feedback, where they need, oh, he's just going in the cart, where they need that validation of people commenting on things, and they're afraid to stop creating. Now for me, you know me, I'm horrible with uploads. There are like 3 or 4 music videos that I haven't reacted to because I got burned out on that really quickly. You notice now I do them in batches because you have to be in the right mindset to watch and react to something because you want to give it the best shot. And you're not always in the right frame of mind. And right now I don't have the best lighting. And because it's autumn, the lighting, optimal lighting is in the morning, and I'm not a morning person. And, you know, I have a routine. I get up, I make my breakfast. If my PCA is not here to do it, I do solitaire to get my brain going. Might play some other, like, daily games to get the brain going. By then, half the time, depending on when I woke up, the good lighting is dead. I'm left with this, where one side of my face is lit, the other side is not. I do have a lamp up there, but it is very shaky, and I'm deathly afraid it's going to fall one of these days and break, and I think it might be an antique-ish. Don't know. So the problem with being a reactor, as I think I've made a video about this, is that you can't listen to new music unless you're ready to react to it. I haven't even, as you've noticed, there's no react video to Making Christmas because I haven't had the lighting and the mindset, and I'm going to visit family soon, so I'm trying to get things done before then. So when I have time to do react videos, you can see the lighting is not optimal, and then I'm frustrated because the lighting is not optimal. I'm not going to react to something that everybody is raving about when I'm frustrated. So you have to be in the right mindset. And as an artist in general, that's a problem. You have to be in the mindset to do something. Somebody asked today for somebody to draw Avi as a pirate. Can I physically do that? Am I capable? Yes. Could easily do it. Well, maybe not easily. But I have an idea of what I would do. But I had to finish this project that's on my desk that I'll get to later before I could do that, because this one is due tomorrow. I don't know if I have to turn it in today to be ready tomorrow, but I'm hoping I can turn it in tomorrow because nighttime photos are not very good even with the new phone. There's always the glare from the lamp on one side, and no matter how much I adjust the brightness and the shadows and the highlights, it's never optimal. And this one is just way too big to fit in my scanner. I would have to scan it in, presuming that it could read brown, pink, or purple as the right colors, which it's not. I don't have the capability, I don't have the skill set to fix my scanner, but even if I did, I'd have to scan this thing in 2 pieces, put it in GIMP, stitch it back together, and hope that I can get the shadow where the 2 edges meet to go away. I've kind of gotten better at that. So, and I've been really lazy. There are 2 pieces that I did, and I finished them at night, and I posted nighttime photos, but I didn't post daytime photos. I don't even think I did a daytime photo for this one, so there might be 3. Inktober, so this is flowing. I did Inktober, Kinktober, and Flufftober. Did not last long with me. It was too much. Maybe I took on too much. Like, this was whale, was the prompt. So, of course, being me, I dragoned the whale. And did I not put those in here? I might have taken them out. I also did a chicken, or did I? No, I was fairly certain that, oh, no, I remember I put those in the other sketchbook. But the point is, I have like between 2 and 4 drawings that I never got around to taking pictures of in the daytime because I finish them at night. That's generally how it works. I don't finish until nighttime. Oop, the screen came on. I'm just gonna, can I turn that off? Where's the, I could turn the screen off, but the button is behind the phone and I'm afraid I'll knock it down. I'll just take my glasses off because that's really the issue, is the glare off the glasses. Anyway, so you think, oh, well, it's not that hard. You just take a picture the next day and you post it and you're good. But here's the thing. Being an artist or a writer in modern times can get overwhelming. You can get burned out really quickly because people have expectations. For example, some of my friends and family have Instagram. Some have Twitter. Some have Facebook. But inevitably, inevitably, somebody does not have one or the other. Or they don't have any social media, so they would go to DeviantArt to see it. Like you tell them on Messenger, hey, it's done. So you have to post to DeviantArt. Instagram is where mine go second, I think, because that's what I used my first Instagram for. It has the same name as my YouTube channel. Everything except DeviantArt has the same name. Thank you, Peter Hollins, for telling me to brand. I've done that and created a logo, all that stuff. The only thing that has a different name is DeviantArt, and that is Jezza Mouse. It was a role-playing character thing. That's not the point. The point is, you release a new chapter, let's say. Well, if they have bookmarked your work that you're working on, you may have several works in progress. That's just a thing with writers. And traditional artists. We have so many projects in the works. Like crochet, you know, I had this thing sitting on my in my crochet bag for like since winter, and I just finished it. And I'm not happy with it, by the way. I am not in the least bit happy with this thing. But it's done, and I'm probably going to give it away after I remove most of my hair from it. And no, I'm not going to wear this for the rest of the video. In fact, I might have it upside down. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so any creator, we have like a million works in progress, and some get abandoned. Like, I made one pair of shark slippers for my cousin's first baby, and then, oh, there goes the screen. I made a pair of shark slippers for my cousin's first baby, and then I was going to make a pair of toddler ones for a friend, and now the kid's too big to wear them. And I just, no. So, and when you diversify, then you have so many works in progress. When you crochet, you write, you draw, you paint. Well, the paintings I usually get done in like a day or 2 or 3. The paintings, I don't have any unfinished paintings, but I have so many unfinished drawings, written works, crochet projects, and because I multitask, or because I have diverse interests, like there are YouTube videos I haven't made, I've been meaning to, like the How to Adult series. I barely touched it, and it was a great idea. So the advantage of branching out is that if you get burned out on drawing, well, you can crochet something, or you can work on a written piece. I haven't been doing Inktober and Flufftober mainly because I've been catching up on Good Mythical Morning, and that's something I want to watch. When I'm writing, I prefer to have music going, and I know Good Mythical Morning is going to be there ad nauseum. I can look at it in November, but November is NaNoWriMo, which I have only not finished 1 year. But so creative burnout happens. I get why Jacksepticeye took a break. I get why Avi left Pentatonics and started his own band. Apparently moved to to Tennessee. Didn't tell anybody. Oh, back to my original point. So let's say you've made a new chapter. Well, if they don't bookmark your story, because the problem with going live is you can't really edit. Not that I'm great at that. If they haven't bookmarked the story, then you have to put it on the Facebooks and the maybe the YouTubes and the Twitters. And if you have a Tumblr, I maybe put it there. I don't. I technically do for a Gish thing that happened, and I titled it Only Here for the Gish, and I have not touched it since. Excuse me. So you create a new chapter. Well, if they haven't bookmarked, you need to get it out there. You need to put it on social media. You could wait until, like, if you're on a roll, you can maybe write 4 or 5 chapters in a day. I think my record's been like 11 chapters in a day. I don't know. I haven't really counted. I know at least I've done 7 in a day. So you can maybe wait till the end of the day. Okay, I'm exhausted mentally. Now to promote it. I don't promote my writing enough. I don't know how. Drawings, I know, you plunk it up there. But I've tried every now and then putting a chapter up on social media, and there's like no engagement. So risk reward, not in it for me. And it's getting to where the drawings, not so much either. It's just a reflex by now that I put it up on Twitter. So Twitter, I can do progress photos, which is what my Snapchat is for. So there are more pictures of my drawings on Snapchat than there are on Twitter. But, you know, not everybody has Snapchat. And this is the thing, is not everyone has all the things. So first I put it on Twitter. It's just a picture I took with my phone, got it as best I could, because it's always at night. Then the next day I have to remember to either scan it if it's in colors and sizes that my scanner will handle, or if it's not, then I have to take a daytime photo, put it through Instagram filters, not filters, where like you can edit and you remove the bright, like the glare from the light and the shadow so that you even out the picture, and then you try to put the color back in, and it's never the right color. It's always slightly off. Very rarely do I have a true to life image on my social media of the thing that I created, and it's very, very frustrating. With crochet, well, good luck with that, because you can't scan a hat. Well, I don't think you can scan a hat. Maybe I'll do that one of these days and show you what that looks like. But so the next day, take a picture or scan. Well, if I scan it, that's easy. I just plunk it right on my Instagram. And Instagram has a nasty habit, particularly with anything in here, has a nasty habit of cutting off bits. I don't want that. So Instagram likes squares, and this is not a square. So it'll cut off here, for example, and that's the funny part. That's the joke. This is called when your fave does the thing they're known for, or also when Avi drops the bass. If it cuts off this, and you can't see that she's overwatered the plant and it's just drooping, well, then there goes the laughs. So Instagram has a nasty habit of, which is why I like having deviant art, but I started putting my art on Instagram because I didn't have a computer, and you need Java to work with DeviantArt, and all I had was my Samsung tablet, which doesn't have Java, and my smartphone, which also does not have Java and probably also needs to be plugged in. So let me do that. So, oh, that's gonna change the angle. We're gonna have to do this and get creative. We'll use the tablet to weigh down the cord. So, well, now we've changed the angle of the shot, and the purple is the case. It keeps going around the, anyway. So, if I scan it, it's easy. I scan it with the tablet, The tablet is where I have my art Instagram, specifically because it's the only thing that'll talk to the scanner. It was advertised as a cordless scanner, and it's not talking to the computer without a cord. But I thought, tablet has my art Instagram anyway, let's see if that'll hook up. It does. So if I scan it, it's easy to put it on Instagram. I just, boom, it's up, it's fine. If it's scanned, I don't really usually have to do much to it, just bing, bang, boom, tag it, new to the hashtags. I don't know if I'm supposed to hashtag when I put it on Twitter, but I do on Instagram. So, bing, bang, boom, from the tablet to Instagram. Well, I don't have Twitter on the tablet. I could, but it doesn't have enough memory for that. I know I could just go to Chrome, blah, 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 but I have Google Photos. So when I go to put it on Twitter, see, if I scan it, it goes to Instagram first. If I take a picture, it goes to Twitter first. Because the device I'm recording on is where I take the pictures of the art. So if I want to go from one to the other, or to the computer, which handles DeviantArt, I have to run it through Google Photos. And because Google Photos backs up everything, I now have a duplicate when I take it from the phone to the tablet or vice versa. The computer I have to manually upload, so I don't get duplicates that way. So I have to remember, upload to Instagram or Twitter, depending on which device it is, go to Google Photos, download it to the other device, put it on the other social media, then put it on the computer, put that on DeviantArt. Also, the computer is where I have my dummy Facebook that I don't really use, that allows me to put my art on the Facebook page that I made for my art, which I never remember to do, which is why it ends up going up on the page in batches. But it's also, there are not a whole lot of people on that page, and the people on that page have the other social medias so they can see it anyway. So there's not really much point at this point in my, I can't really call it a career. What? Well, he might be dreaming. So, every time that I draw something new, and sometimes I go for a week straight of creating, rarely maybe 2 weeks. So then I have this backlog of stuff. It has to go to DeviantArt, which I'm behind on. It has to go to the Facebook page, which I'm behind on. It has to go on Twitter. That's the easy one. It has to go to Instagram. Depending on how I uploaded it, could maybe also be easy. I don't even bother with Tumblr, as I've said. So, this is what I have to go through every time that I make a new piece. And you think it's just YouTube creators that get burned out, but it's not. Artists and writers, we get overwhelmed really, really easily. And YouTube creators, okay, well you wind up finding your niche. You do your thing. I don't have a niche. Apparently I'm a variety channel. But if you're a singer, you do covers till you're known. Then you get your own personal style out there. Or you find a niche like Melinda did. She started doing the Google Translate, and then now she's releasing her music. So you find your niche and you upload. By the way, frustrating thing as a creative person, creator, if you will, which apparently is what we're called. Singers, you do covers until you get a fan base, and then you can branch out into your original work. Artists, fan art, and then you can branch out into your own original work, which, let's be honest, we've been drawing since we could hold a pencil, so we didn't start drawing fan art. We started drawing cats and angels and witches, So, writers, you start with fan fiction, I guess. Well, I mean, you don't start there, but that's, I guess, how you get known? I don't know. I really don't know. But here's the frustrating thing. And I'm sure singers experience a similar problem. the fan art and the supernatural case fic and the react videos. I think the computer just went to sleep. Yes, it did. Those do better than my originals, which is, original drawings, originals. I have a 60 some odd chapter book with all the things that people say they want in a book. Hardly anybody's read the damn thing. And also, in the YouTube space, the react videos, as much as they creatively drain me, are the most popular thing that I do. That and the one crochet tutorial that I've done, which you would think would mean that I need to do more crochet tutorials. I could. It's a lot of editing. I could, and they would be way better than the one that everybody keeps looking at when I can find the tripod. But it's, it's not as frustrating with YouTube because I don't really have a voice yet. It's just whatever comes out of my brain. But with my drawings and my writing, the original pieces, like I can show you things that I don't put online because it's not fan art. Oh, well, there went the screen again. That one's not very good. I'm not going to show you that one. Okay. Well, no, she might eventually see this, and I don't want that online. Well, that's not mine. That's my son's drawing. I'm going to find a really, really good one. Where is the monkey? Oh, actually, no, that's a good one, too. Okay, so my name, you may have noticed, has the word dragon in it. Before I was the Avi dragon lady, I was an avid dragon lady. Hence oh wow. But hence the way that I did that. Because this is some sort of forest cat that I dragoned. This is what I did. Okay? It's not fan art. And these all have names because they're from a book that I wrote that nobody has read, but that one, that's one of those where you write, you spend so much time doing the lore that you kind of forget to write the story. So I don't care about that. But so they have names. This was a desert fox that I dragoned. The original, this was a rat, but the dragon wouldn't eat a rat. They'd be eating something as big as a wolf, or a dire wolf, or whatever, This one, I didn't even have a reference photo. I just went to town. I just made a bird-like dragon. So, I want to find the monkey one. I mean, yeah, one of them looks like they got their face smashed in with a shovel, but the other one looks really cool. It's a full-page thing. There aren't many full-page things in here because This one. These were monkeys. Yeah, this one looks like they got their face smashed in. I was still figuring out how to draw dragons, but she looks really cool. It's a full-page thing, and these were originally monkeys, okay? I don't remember what kind. It was in my rare mammal book. So, I mean, I have perfectly good... Oh, wait, I have one where I did a freaking hyena. I dragoned a hyena, if I can find that one. It's frustrating that I have all these really, really cool drawings, and they would not do... Well, that was a cheetah, and she doesn't really look as cool as I remember. That's the case with some of these, is I remember them being so much cooler when I drew them. Here we go. I dragoned a hyena. You can still tell what she was, what the base creature was for her. I used a hyena to draw her. And she even has kind of the personality of a hyena. Not that that comes out much in the book. Well, I mean, it kind of does. So, that's the thing that I used to do. I used real animals as reference photos, I'm gonna have to open that again unless that's what this, no, that's a sketchbook. But the ones that do better, typically, are the peffer dragons. I mean, I don't go verbatim her stuff, but I use like the bodies or the heads or something of her dragons. So, again, the originals, which are based on real animals, don't do as well as the fan art, which is basically what it is because they're based on her style. So the ones that I did originally, if I put them online, wouldn't do as well as the ones that are based on her style. To be honest, it is a bit more clean than that, and that was before I started using microns. But the fan art, it always does so much better than my originals. I don't know if I have any fan art in here because this is my big sketchbook. Well, that was for Gish. That's not really fan art. No. I don't think that's fan art either, is it? No, that's Inktober. So it's frustrating that I spend NaNoWriMo. Sure, it's only a month, but I poured, like, I stopped everything to write this book. There is major character death. There's romance. There's blood. There's Mpreg, which is apparently a thing. Well, it kind of is, but it kind of isn't because I did, like, gender subsets. Just all this cool stuff that people say they like, and hardly anyone's read it. But you write supernatural fanfic, case fic, and people will read it. I mean, it's not popular, but it's more popular than the other one, the original, the one that came about from a dream that I had. No, the one, I'll tell you what it is. Okay, so I wrote a Try Guys Eat Sandwiches story. They asked for it. They literally asked for it. I wrote it in like an hour, and I cringed, laughed uncomfortably, and said nope the whole time I was writing it. But I thought, you know what? They literally asked for it. I'm going to embrace the cringe factor that can happen with fan fiction. And so I embraced the genre with a lot of discomfort, but I did it. I'm still getting kudos on this thing, and it far and away outperforms anything else I've written. Anything else I've written. I wrote a Doctor Who Supernatural crossover where Captain Jack Harkness appears in the Supernatural universe, and it's funny, and I like it, but it doesn't do that well. So, but still, even that one performs better than my originals. So, on platforms where you're not rewarded for original content, I think it's easier to get burned out. I haven't written an original story since that. Everything else has been fan fiction. Last year's NaNoWriMo was technically fan fiction because it was a D&D campaign that my friend was the DM for, so I didn't even write the story. He wrote all the plot points. My other friends provided the dialogue. All I'm doing is arranging it in an interesting or easy to read format. That's all I'm doing. I'm rearranging the words of the things that already happened in the D&D campaign. And even that didn't do as well as that one thing I wrote in an hour. This is what's so frustrating. I wrote that in an hour. It wouldn't have taken so long if I could have stopped cringing, laughing, and saying nope, and flailing madly. I was very, very uncomfortable, but I wrote it. And it only took me an hour, and that is the thing that everybody likes. I wrote a story that I cry when I read it. When I reread the thing to edit it, I cry. Okay? And I wrote the damn thing. And nobody really reads it. So, without it being well received, there's no real motivation to continue writing original content or draw original things. I have, like, out of this entire book, mind you, it's not filled all the way. Let me find where the end is. That might be the end there. Now, mind you, not all of these are finished, but I have this many drawings that no one has seen on the internet. This many, and no one has seen them. Because nobody would, there wouldn't be, there's no market for it. Besides the fact that they've kind of faded over time, and they weren't done in ink or Prismacolor, just color pencils I have in a bin. I have a filing cabinet full of stuff, you know. And I have it all organized. I have, you know, mermaids, horses, angels. I intended to do things to fill those folders, but the ones that are the most full are general fan art, which is, it could be Star Wars, Supernatural, Jacksepticeye, whatever. Well, no, Jack has his own folder now. Pentatonics, well, PTXFAF is what the hashtag is. And then any art that I do for the fan fiction also has its own folder. Those 4 folders have the most in them. And they just sit there. Sure, people see them online. Not as many people as other artists. You know. That's the thing, is I'm average at everything. And I know it. I look average. I'm not ugly. I'm not gorgeous. My drawings, they don't look like a child did it, but they're not the things that the famous people seem to see and like the most. Maybe use for their album cover. You know. My writing. People do read the fan fiction. Not the kind of numbers that I see other people getting, but they do read it. You know, my crochet. Yes, I can make a dragon scarf. Where is he? Oh, he's hiding behind the F-bombs. Yeah, I can make a dragon scarf or an F-bomb, but I have seen some really killer crochet things that, well, forgot I had one right here. It's my friend's Christmas present from last year that I just finished last week. It's a Zelda scarf. Well, Legend of Zelda. That's the Triforce, which is from the game. Anyway, let's not get in the Link versus Zelda debate, especially since I can't see chat. I don't know where it is right now. And yes, that took forever. So, you know, it's difficult being average when you're in an environment that's got, it's flooded with above average people. You know, and we're still talking about burnout, don't get me wrong. let's say, now I can't remember if it's 1% or 10% of people in the world can draw to some extent. Let's be optimistic and say 10. There are 7 billion people on this planet, give or take. That means there are 7 million people who can draw. 7 million people, and a large percent of them have the internet. So it sort of feels sometimes like I put all this effort into a piece, like the one in front of me. And then I just throw it into the white noise of the internet and hope somebody sees it. Now, if you're an artist and you've spent all week on a piece, business week, but still, all week on a piece, and you know maybe a couple dozen people are going to see it, are you going to want to keep doing it? Or are you going to very quickly get to a point where, you know what, I'm going to turn on the Xbox and play Skyrim for a week straight. Or I'm going to do Coloring Pixels, which is a cheesy little thing on Steam. Not really a game. Still kind of creative-ish. And just not think. I'm still kind of creating. I'm color by number, but I'm still creating. And I don't have to worry about anybody appreciating it, because it's going to look like the same. It's going to look the same across the board. Whether I do it, whether a 5-year-old does it, it's going to look the same. Or, you know, if the weather's good, do I want to just spend a week every day going to the beach? I wanted to go to the beach today. It was actually very nice, but I had to finish this thing. You know, and I'm okay with it. It's not the best thing I've ever done. It's fine. But I was this close to just saying screw it and going to the beach. I was in the bathroom when my muse said, hey, I know how to do the background now. It's not what I pictured. It actually looks pink instead of purple. I did use purple, but it looks pink. I was this close to quitting because my brain was fried and I couldn't figure out how to do the background. And I know it just sounds like I'm venting, but you know, it's not just YouTube creators that get burned out. It's writers, it's artists, hell, maybe even people who crochet, because nobody buys crochet anymore. I mean, maybe the little stuffed animals they'll buy, but nobody buys hats, scarves. Usually what happens when you crochet something and people like it, they go, oh, that's so cool, you should sell that. I actually said when I was doing the F-bombs, one old lady said, you should sell that. I said, actually, I do. And all of a sudden, she wasn't interested anymore. When you crochet, what your friends hope happens, they'll tell you to sell them. But they're hoping that they don't really sell, because then you'll have a bunch of them to just give away. As you can see, I haven't. I saw they weren't doing well, stopped making them, and they're sitting on my shelf. Because I burned out. Those F-bombs only take like 3 hours to do, the little ones, you know. And everybody's like, well, you could put them on Etsy. Yeah, I could put them on Etsy. They might do well on Etsy, but the problem is I'm going to burn out really fast doing nothing but F-bombs, because, you know, people are going to order them. You have to make them because they ordered them. That leaves no time for drawing or writing or maybe crocheting a hat because you gave yours to a homeless guy because he wanted an electric blue one and you happen to have one in your bag and you thought, I can just make another one. But if you're doing nothing but making F-bombs, you don't have time to make a new electric blue hat. Actually, I haven't made the new electric blue hat because I haven't found the yarn again. Might not have gotten that at Walmart. I might got it at Walmart. That might have been the good Michael's yarn. I was going somewhere with that. And I don't remember what it was. Because my brain has died. Because I spent 5 days working on this drawing. I may as well unveil the darn thing. I took my glasses off because I was about to cry, and I didn't, so we're good. So, and this was just a challenge by another artist. She wanted us to draw Avriel and the Sequoias. I've drawn a crap ton of Avi, hence the name. I've done a crap ton of Avi dragons, but I haven't tried drawing the other people in his new band. She wanted it to be spooky, which I kind of forgot about. So I tried to do like a twilight sky in the back, and the marker wasn't quite as purple as I thought it was going to be. Okay, look at this thing. That's the marker I used. Do you see how dark that is? That's not the color I got. I don't know what happened. I was trying to do a twilight sky in the back with lightning, and there's a bat and a witch. And actually, I coughed. You've heard me do it before. And the bat, a little gross, I'm sorry, but the phlegm kind of got on the bat, and I wiped it, and it smeared. But it almost looks like a shadow creature in video games when you hit it with light, where it starts to like bleed shadow. So I thought, that's a cool effect. That's where I'll put the moon. And then there's the witch right there. And, you know, lightning. I'm not good at lightning, okay? I'm not good at lighting in general, as you can tell. But this is the new piece. So that's the girl. I don't know their names. I'm sorry. That's the girl. That's Avi. That's the blonde guy. And that's the one that doesn't sing. The one that plays like the drum thingy or the cello. That guy with the glasses. And because these two have beards and I wanted to have actual hair, I did, they're called lung dragons. Like the Eastern ones don't have wings. So that I could do actual like beards. And then these two don't have beards, so they're just traditional dragons. I have no idea how I'm going to present this on social media because every attempt to photograph it has gone poorly. It just blends into one mass of color and the details get lost. And sometimes I say, screw it. I like this one, but I'm not going to go through all the effort of uploading it on, there's the glare again. I'm not going to go through all the effort of uploading it when I know it's going to be subpar. It's not going to look like the thing that it is. And when I said it feels like I'm just throwing my art into the white noise of the internet, here's what I mean. And I don't just mean the sheer numbers game. Because let's say 7 million people can draw. And let's say most of them have access to the internet. Maybe what, like 5 million people? Now I do have a few core people who see what I do, they comment, they give me feedback. Some of them are also artists and they give me feedback. And then of course you have people who can't draw, and so anything you do is good, even if you yourself hate it. So I know it's not a numbers game. I really do. It's not a numbers game. But I have maybe maybe 24 people at most who will like something that I've done. And I'm not talking consistently either. It's not 24 every time I post something. It's, if it does well, maybe a couple of dozen people will see it and like it. Sorry. It's autumn and the chill. The point is, you know, there's a lot of people that have Twitter, and I don't expect ever, I never wanted to be famous. Don't think that that's what I'm saying. I don't want to be famous, because that's just too much pressure, and I can't handle the pressure that I have now. But white noise, you throw out this thing you've worked on for 5 days. You put it on social media, maybe 24 people. Maybe. And I know it's not a numbers game. But those same 24 people, when you don't upload a drawing, they kind of forget you exist. We're not friends. They just like what I do. And so and I've turned off notifications on Twitter, just so you know. Notifications are off. Because I had an issue with another person, and it just became stressful anytime I logged on because I was afraid that something would happen, and you don't need to know the details. The point is that I have notifications off, which means that I periodically check my phone, Twitter app, if I've put up a new drawing. And for like half a day, there's that action on it, things are happening. And, you know, if I've commented on somebody else's tweet or retweet or whatever, then I kind of keep an eye on it, because, you know, somebody might comment on that. But if I don't go on Twitter, if I haven't made anything new, if I haven't commented on anybody else's thing, it's like I stop existing. Which makes me think of Doctor Who, of course, with Donna in the library. Sometimes, Mummy, when you're not looking at us, when you're not here, every time you blink, it's like we just stop. You know, that's what it's like. If you're not constantly interacting with other people and or creating something new all the dang time, you just stop existing. And back to the codependence thing. Before I knew what Twitter was, the only reason I got Twitter was so that Avi would see the dragons, because putting them on Facebook wasn't working. I tried tagging, or maybe it was Instagram. It might have been Instagram, where I was like tagging and I didn't know how tagging worked. And I'm sorry I'm popping my knuckles. Does that creep you out a little bit? No. Anyway, didn't know how Twitter worked. Somebody told me, I don't remember who, maybe it was a sister, maybe it was a kid, maybe it was a friend, one of my kids, I mean. Somebody told me that Twitter was the place you put things if you wanted influencers to see them. So that's why I got Twitter, to show him the drawings I'd been doing, which was reflected in the first username that I ill-advisedly chose, which was Dragon Lady, the number 4, Avi. Meaning, I'm a lady who draws dragons for him. And then there was a rumor he had a girlfriend, and I went, you know, that doesn't sound like that's what I mean. I need to change that. How do I do that? Because I didn't know how to change my Twitter name. So then I changed it to Dragon Lady SPN. Now my Instagram was already Avi Dragon Lady. I don't know why I didn't just change it to that. Because it can also be read as Avid Dragon Lady. I already had it worked out, but I put Dragon Lady SPN because I like Supernatural. Whatever, Anyway. And now everything except for DeviantArt is Avi Dragon Lady, and only because DeviantArt makes you pay to become a member to change your name. Anyway, I didn't know how social media worked. Okay, I remember when it was a huge deal that typewriters could erase. I still don't know how erasable ink works. So I didn't know how social media worked. I still kind of don't. Sort of figuring out the hashtags and etiquette, things like that. And so I would put out a new drawing. And then I would get really, really excited. I'd watch the numbers go up. I'd see the comments coming in. And I'd be like, oh, wait, this is really cool. I see why people have Twitter now. You're laughing. I know. I can hear it. Because looking back, I'm laughing. Okay? And I thought, if enough people saw the drawing and somebody that he followed would show it to him, I thought that's how that worked. That if you got enough people to look at a thing, that the numbers would somehow manifest it in one of his friends' feed, and then they'd show him. I didn't know what I was doing, okay? I still can't Google things and reliably get what I'm looking for. So, after a while, the codependence, I could feel it, you know? I do have a tendency to become codependent. I know this, that's why I live alone. We won't go into codependence in this stream because that is just, no, that is too big of a topic. But the point is, when I would check my Twitter and I hadn't put anything new up and nobody was talking to me, well, then you feel bad, you feel depressed. You know, what did I do wrong? It's not what you did wrong, it's what you didn't do. You didn't make new content. And I did do the Peter Hollins Creator Academy, and he did say releasing content on a regular schedule is the best way to go. But here's the problem. When you're an artist, you create when the muse tells you to. So you put the work out when it's done. And I know that I could take a picture in the daytime when it's done and then stockpile those photos and release those on a regular schedule. But I have PTSD. I don't remember these things. I wouldn't remember to do it. And of course, in the Creators Academy, they're like, oh, well, there's all these tools. Like, if you have a Facebook page, you can schedule when posts post. But I don't use Facebook that much. I'm sure you can do the same with Twitter. But again, as I've said, I'm not that good with social media. I'm not good with technology in general. So, releasing a constant, steady stream of content, not very easy for me. And so the best way to become a popular creator is to do that. And it's not easy for me. You know, if I had somebody else to like photograph my work, put it up on all the social medias for me, time it out on a regular schedule, maybe I'd hit it big. Maybe. That's the thing. You don't know. So you could be busting your butt, putting out content every week, every day, whatever you're doing for years and never make it even remotely big. It may never be your job. And it's a risk-reward thing. Do I really want to go through all of that stress and maybe have it mean nothing? And for me, the answer is no. I'm sorry. That's why I don't do very many React videos. Because I don't get anything out of it. I do the Peter ones because maybe he'll see it. And he's a bit more active on social media even than me, and I'm not famous. Like, he sets aside time every day to be on social media. He's more interactive than I am, and I'm not famous. So the only reason I do his React videos is because he may see them and he actually takes the feedback that we give him. He's like, okay, I see what you're saying, but it's this and the other. So it's useful information for him, which is the only reason I still do his from time to time. I don't listen with headphones because he won't copyright claim it, but most of the time the original song creator will. So I don't make any money off of it. I just do it because it might help him. I don't know. So, and another thing is, the highs and lows. There was a high when you put out a new piece and people were talking about it. People were liking it, retweeting it. And then there's a low when nothing's happening. And when you're depressed, creating not high on your priority list. You're falling back on self-care, taking a bubble bath, playing a video game that you don't have to think about, things like that. And I left my ex because he's bipolar, and there were too many highs and lows with him. So why would I continue purposely inciting highs and lows? So I backed off from that. I don't let my self-worth be defined by who or how many people react. I have to close this window or I'm going to cough a whole bunch of more. I'm sorry. This is going to be like dead air. But, you know, if I didn't do that, there'd be a whole lot more air time of coughing. And y'all don't want to hear that. I have cold activated asthma and I live in Minnesota. But, you know, risk reward, it's worth it. So, another issue for me personally, and I get this because Avi does it. He's not on social media as much as Peter. He's not even on social media as much as I am. He takes a lot of nature breaks. Go out in nature, refill your creative batteries. That's another thing, is if you're constantly creating content, you're emptying the tank, creating content, and you're not refilling it. That's where burnout happens, in my opinion. You've got nothing left. You're just giving fumes. And fumes, you want to see what happens when you're working on fumes? I'm willing to bet I've got something in here that was me working on fumes. Oh, there goes the screen again. That's not fumes. That's not fumes. That's not fumes. It might be in the other one. Well, anyway. I'm not going to go looking through the other one. It's got too much in it. The point is, when you're working on fumes, you produce subpar content. And nobody's happy. You're not happy because as a creator, you can see that it's crap. Your viewers or other people consuming the content aren't happy. So you have to constantly refill your batteries. And that's what he's doing. And that's what I try to do. And because I'm old school, I know I'm old. I'm not 40 yet, but I'm old. I'm pre-technology. When I was a kid, I was climbing trees and rollerblading and swimming. I was doing things outdoors, you know. I jokingly refer to myself as a dragon, so I like to say I'm not a dragon of leisure. I'm a dragon of action. I like to be out doing things. And it's a blessing and a curse living in a place where I can be out in nature, but still on the grid. There are hiking trails within a walk of my house. I can walk to a hiking trail. I can walk to the beach. You know, I can be out where there's not a car or road or human being to be seen, but I still have cell reception, which means I still have social media, which is a blessing and a curse when I still have notifications on. Because one of the reasons I never want to be famous is I don't want to feel chained to a device, any device. You know, when I'm writing, I have to get up and walk around because I don't like being at this desk for that long. It's amazing that I've sat still for 65 minutes, except for closing the window. So I don't want to be chained to the computer. I don't want to be chained to my phone. I have a phone sling. Yes, I made the phone sling. And yes, it does keep me from dropping it. But I am literally tied to my phone if I'm not at home, okay? And I want that to be a convenience factor. I don't want to feel like I'm tied to my phone because I can't leave it alone. Hey, that rhymed. That happens sometimes. Or else somebody will get offended that I didn't see a thing that they said. Or, you know. So I get the whole burnout thing with YouTubers and musicians who are touring all the time, but it's not just them. Us. There's a gnat, I'm sorry. I know it's ironic that an artist is saying that it's not just YouTubers on YouTube, but I get burned out really easily. I got caregiver burnout. I get artistically burned out fairly quickly, you know? My muse is very, very fickle. And it's a complex issue. So I'm not surprised that it's almost at 70 minutes. But it's not just YouTubers, and it's not something to be taken lightly, as I'm sure everyone has heard other YouTubers and creators say. You know, it can lead to depression, maybe more severe things than depression. And I do have a therapist. I do talk to her about these things. And people think that art and writing are the things that I do. I think that's my passion, but it's not. I'm over 30 and I don't know if I have a passion. Yes, I draw. Yes, I write. Yes, I crochet. I paint. You know, it's just something I do to pass the time. Hey, I got it. In the garbage you go. It's just something I do to pass the time. I don't know what my passion is. No clue. So why? That's another reason that I don't push myself to exhaustion, because I don't even know if that's what I want to do as like a career. I went to college for art, got financially withdrawn before I could find out if it was something that I wanted to pursue. But, you know, if it's not something you're passionate about and your original work is not as well received as your fan products, you know, I really have nothing else to say, and it's getting really, really long, and it's going to take forever to upload to YouTube, if it does at all, because I also have videos up that was watching while I was drawing. I think after this one, I'm going to close that because I don't want this to glitch out. I'll do other things while it's uploading. TLDR, burnout's not just for YouTubers. It can happen to any person who creates. Maybe that's you.